and I am 75 years old. I died for 15 minutes, and I saw Ali Khamenei, the supreme leader of Iran, in hell. And this is what he told me to tell the world. I need you to sit down for this. I need you to put your phone away. I need you to close everything else you have open, because what I am about to tell you is not a dream. It is not the imagination of an old man who has watched too many documentaries. What I am about to tell you happened to me. It happened in my home. It happened on the 3rd of March, 2026. And I have not been the same man since. I am 75 years old. I have lived long enough to have seen things. I fought in wars that younger generations only read about in textbooks. I have lost friends. I have lost a wife. I have watched the world change in ways I never thought I would live to see. I am not a man who frightens easily. I am not a man given to exaggeration. My children will tell you that. My pastor will tell you that. The doctors at the hospital will tell you that. But on the 3rd of March, 2026, something happened to me that broke every framework I had built around what I thought I knew about life, about death, and about the judgment of God. It was just past noon. I was sitting in my living room armchair, the old brown one my daughter keeps threatening to throw away. I had just finished a light lunch. There was nothing unusual about the day. The television was on low. Outside, it was a quiet afternoon, and then, without any warning at all, I felt something I cannot fully describe, a pulling sensation in the center of my chest, like something reaching in and squeezing. My vision went dark at the edges. I tried to call out, I couldn't, and then I was gone. The paramedics later told my daughter that when they arrived, I had no pulse. My heart had stopped. Clinically, for approximately 15 minutes, Jonathan was dead. But I was not unconscious. I was not sleeping. I was somewhere else entirely. The first thing I noticed was the light, not the harsh white light you see in hospital corridors. This was a warm, deep, golden light, the kind that doesn't come from any source you can point to. It simply is. And standing in that light was a figure. I cannot give you dimensions. I cannot give you a color code for his robe or tell you the exact shade of his eyes. He did not speak to me the way you and I are speaking right now. His words came like understanding, like something unlocking inside you that was always there but locked behind the door you never had the key for. He said to me, "Jonathan, I am showing you something. You will return and you will speak." And then he turned, and I followed his gaze. What I saw next, I want you to understand that I did not want to see it. There was no satisfaction in it. There was no feeling of triumph. What I saw filled me with a grief so heavy that even now, sitting here speaking to you, I struggle to carry it. I saw a place of fire. Not fire the way we think of fire, not the orange flames licking at wood. This was a fire that had consciousness, that had intention. It burned in every direction. And within it, there were figures, souls, and the sound, I will not describe the sound. It is not something any human voice should have to describe. And in that place, I saw him. I recognized him immediately, though I had only ever seen him on news screens. Ali Khamenei, the supreme leader of Iran, the man who, just days before, on the 28th of February, 2026, had died and left the entire geopolitical world in a spiral of speculation and uncertainty. He was there, in that fire, and he saw me. Now, I want to stop here for one moment and address something before I continue. I am not a political man. I am not standing here with an agenda. I am not affiliated with any government, any intelligence agency, any media organization, or any political party. I am a 75-year-old retired man who had a heart attack in his armchair and went somewhere he did not expect to go. If I could have come back from that experience without telling the story, I would have. Because I know what people will say. I know how this sounds. He did not look powerful. The man who had commanded armies, who had held an entire nation under his ideology for decades, who had been the face of a theocratic empire, that man was gone. What I saw was a soul stripped of every title, every rank, every piece of earthly armor. Just a man, terrified, burning, undone. And he said this to me, I am giving you his words as close as I can carry them back. I taught them the wrong God. I told an entire generation that their suffering was obedience. I told them that death in my name was paradise. I told them that the enemies I chose were the enemies of heaven. I used the name of God like a sword for my own power, and I called it righteousness. I told young men and young women to die for a lie, and I dressed that lie in scripture, and I convinced myself that I believed it. He stopped, and then he said something that shook me to my core. The people I persecuted in his name, I now understand they were his. The ones I called heretics, the ones I imprisoned for worshiping differently, the ones whose churches I helped destroy. I did not fight enemies of God. I fought the children of God, and I will burn with that knowledge for eternity. He looked at me with eyes that held no more pride, no more doctrine, no more justification. And then he said, tell the world, no man who uses God's name to hold power over other people is serving God. No leader who makes himself between the people and heaven is a servant of heaven. They are servants of themselves, and the fire knows the difference even when the world does not. And then it was over. I was back. I was on my living room floor with my daughter screaming my name and paramedics pressing on my chest. I came back gasping, confused, and weeping. My daughter thought I was in pain. I was not in pain. I was weeping because of what I had seen and what I had been asked to carry.